You've seen it happen. You feel it. She's there, quietly watching, liking your stories, maybe even lurking on your posts, keeping tabs on your life from afar. She never comments, never sends a message, never reaches out directly. But she's always there. You sense it. You see her name in your views. And you wonder, what is she doing? Why is she watching me but never saying anything? You're not imagining things. And no, you're not crazy. This kind of silent attention is real. It's actually far more common than most people realize. And the reasons behind it? They're deeply rooted in human psychology, emotional safety, ego, and sometimes regret. So tonight we're going to talk about it. Not just what she's doing, but why. Why she watches you, why she doesn't reach out, and what it really means about how she feels. Let me start with this. Silence is not always absence. In fact, sometimes silence is full of emotion. It's full of longing. It's full of fear. It's full of what-ifs. And in a world where everyone wants to play it cool, where vulnerability feels like weakness, reaching out can feel like surrendering power, especially for someone who once felt something for you, or maybe never got the chance to tell you how she truly felt. Imagine this for a moment. There's a woman out there. You knew her once. Maybe you dated her. Maybe she was just a friend. Maybe she was someone who felt something deeper, but never said it out loud. Whatever the story, she never forgot you. She still thinks about you, still feels something stir when your name comes up. But instead of texting you or calling you, she just watches. She watches because it's safer than being seen, safer than risking rejection, and in some cases, safer than revisiting pain. There's this idea that if someone really wanted to talk to you, they would. And in a perfect world, that might be true. But we don't live in a perfect world. We live in a world where timing is messy, where people carry their wounds like armor, where pride and fear play tug-of-war with the heart. And that's why people, especially women, can feel deeply and yet stay silent. For her, watching might be a way to keep a connection alive without reopening an old wound. It's not about being creepy or obsessive. It's about unresolved emotion. She may not know how to talk to you anymore. Or maybe she thinks she missed her chance. Maybe she feels like you've moved on and she doesn't want to intrude. Or worse, she's afraid you'll ignore her. And to some people, that possibility is more painful than staying quiet forever. Sometimes, it's ego. Not in a manipulative or malicious way, but in the sense of self-protection. If she once opened her heart and got hurt, or even if she just fears that hurt, then watching from afar gives her a sense of presence without vulnerability. It lets her stay close to you emotionally, without risking the bruises of disappointment. And let's talk about pride, because pride has ended more relationships, more friendships, and more possibilities than betrayal ever has. A woman may feel something for you but believe that reaching out would make her look desperate, especially if there was tension, if you were the one to walk away, or if things ended without closure. There's also the possibility that she's waiting for you to make a move, to test the waters, to see if you'll notice her subtle presence. The story views, the likes, the random reactions to your posts that come out of nowhere. They're not random. They're soft signals. They're digital breadcrumbs, left intentionally. And if you don't pick them up, she won't chase. Because for many women, especially those who value their self-worth, the fear of seeming too eager is deeply ingrained. Society tells women not to be the first to reach out, not to show too much interest, not to make the first move, because that would make them look needy or even worse, powerless. So she waits, watches, hopes, but stays silent. And then there's nostalgia, one of the most dangerous feelings when it comes to past relationships. When she watches your stories or scrolls through your posts, she's not just seeing your photos, she's remembering. She's remembering how you made her feel. The laughter, the warmth, the excitement, or maybe even the pain. And the thing about nostalgia is, it doesn't ask for permission. It just sneaks in and makes itself at home. Watching you becomes a ritual, a way to time travel back to when things felt right, even if just for a few seconds. But don't get it twisted. This doesn't always mean she wants you back. It doesn't always mean she's ready for anything. Sometimes it just means she misses a version of herself she once was when she was with you, and watching you reminds her of that version. On the flip side, it could mean everything. It could mean she wants to talk to you, but doesn't know how to begin. That she regrets not saying more. That she misses you deeply. But her silence, that's her shield. It's the only way she knows how to stay close without getting hurt again. Now here's a truth you probably didn't expect to hear. Just because she's silent doesn't mean you should break your silence. Not always. Sometimes letting things stay quiet is the most respectful thing you can do, especially if the past was painful, especially if she's watching you because she's healing. But if you feel that same pull, if something inside you says there's still something there, then maybe, just maybe, it's worth the risk. Maybe she's waiting for one small sign from you, something to say, "Hey, I see you too." Yet remember this, you don't need to chase. You don't need to decode every move she makes. If her interest is genuine and mutual, the moment will come. If not, you'll know. And your peace is worth more than any unanswered what if. She's watching you because something in her still feels connected. That doesn't mean you owe her anything, but it does mean you've left a mark. One that time hasn't erased. Whether that's a blessing or a burden, that's for you to decide. You might be tempted to take her silence personally, to feel like she doesn't care. But sometimes, silence means caring too much. Caring enough to stay back. Caring enough to let you live your life. Caring enough to not complicate things. And if you've ever felt that way too, if you've ever watched someone from a distance holding back what you really wanted to say, then you know exactly where she's coming from. It's easy to judge people's silence, harder to understand it, and even harder to sit with the not knowing. But if you can learn to see it not as rejection, but as protection, you'll find peace. She's watching you, but she won't reach out. Not because she doesn't want to, but because deep down she's scared, or hurt, or just unsure. And that's a kind of honesty too. So the next time you see her name pop up, the next time you feel that quiet gaze from across the digital void, remember, it means something. Maybe not everything, but not nothing. She remembers you. She sees you. She still feels something, but for now she'll keep it to herself, and maybe that's exactly where it's meant to stay.